last thing on the special teams.
Fair catch, score touchdown. That's all I can say.
Okay. All right. I think one of the keys is, other than, like you alluded to, Professor Marcus Murphy, is how well the punt coverage would be for the New Orleans Saints. We have to be able to protect, if Murphy is given the opportunity to field a punt, be able to get some of those lanes opened up for him. Also, how will they be able to cover the Raiders players? So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how the Saints are going to fare out there. And if Coach was here, he would always say special teams have to be special. Okay, guys, let's kind of wrap it up. At this time, the New Orleans Saints are 0-0, so we are winning. Right?
We're at 500.
We're at 500. Okay. But going into this game, man, let's talk about some of the X factors for the Saints. Let's start with you, Brendan. Brendan?
Sorry about that. Something's going on with my phone.
Okay.
X factors for the Saints going into this weekend against the Raiders. I think I can just state the obvious and say the offensive line is an X factor in terms of can they keep Drew off of his back or not. And also the biggest issue I had in the preseason was the Saints didn't have the ability to run the football. So can the offensive line create holes for Mark Ingram, C.J. Spiller, or one of our 7 running backs that we're carrying on the roster? The second X factor for me is going to be that Delvin Breaux against Amari Cooper. Delvin Breaux really has to come out and shut the young superstar receiver down. And then third and finally, can Coby Fleener overcome a very bad preseason? A preseason where Sean Payton said he was extremely disappointed in Coby Fleener and that he has not picked up the playbook and has not picked up chemistry with Drew Brees as they were hoping. So those are my X factors. O-line, Delvin Breaux, and Coby Fleener.
Wow, that's kind of scary. All the money we paid Coby Fleener to be able to come into New Orleans, man. Rim, what's some of your X factors for the New Orleans Saints?
He nailed it. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I mean, I don't want to be echoing like our show did when we started. But I mean, he just nailed it. That everything he said is exactly what I was thinking. And you got to start with that O-line. That's the main thing. That's number one.
Okay. What about you, Deuce?
Well, I think everybody, we're all going to point O-line. I'm going to get more specific, and I'm going to point out Pete. I kind of feel bad for his situation because he's not a guard. He doesn't have the body style for the guard. He doesn't have the play style for guard. But, you know, he's going to be critical there because if you can protect that left side and open up, because you've got Armstead, you've got Unger, those are Pro Bowl caliber players. One solid guard, just to make half the line decent, will open up enough running lanes to keep pressure off Drew, even if you have to run to that weak side instead of going strong side. You know, he's the key there. I mean, we can't fix Streif. We can't fix Lolito at right guard. That right side is just going to be our weak side, you know, no matter what we do. We can put Kuhn in there to block behind it. You know, we can keep tight ends. That's just going to be a weak end. But if he can step in and strengthen the left side, give Drew, one, some protection, and two, a little bit of running room for the backs, you know, we might be able to build some consistency and not have to rely on passing every down. So he's my biggest X factor. It's not often you have an offensive lineman be an X factor, but that's going to be the one for me. And the other one on defense is Ellerbe, if he can be healthy and play. I think we'll see a night and day difference in the defense if Ellerbe's on the field.
Okay, Professor?
I think Deuce and Remy and Brendan have pretty much covered everyone that I was thinking of, which leaves me only with Mark Ingram. You know, how will he play coming back from the injury? Because he did not look that great in preseason. And so what Mark Ingram and what can C.J. Spillers, whether those two players can do in terms of helping out Drew if alluded to, the line is struggling bad on the right side, and Tyron Armstead, is there something mysteriously still wrong with him that we're not aware of?
Yeah, that concerns me as well, because I know he returned to practice today, but is he 100%? Last season he played on pretty much one good leg, and he still was effective. But right now, man, if you looked at that preseason game against the Steelers, that was pretty telling that, he couldn't really defend against a pass rusher. And, we're talking about one of the guys who have one of the best feet abilities as a tackle in the National Football League. So, that is going to be the key right there, how Tyron Armstead as well as Pete are able to gel together on that left side. The X factor for me is simple: turnovers. 0 turnovers for the Saints. If the Saints defense will be able to create turnovers against that Raider offense, that's going to be the key. If Drew doesn't throw an interception at the wrong time, and if Mark Ingram doesn't fumble the ball, we have seen that time and time again where the Saints are driving and they have a poorly thrown ball, interception, wrong time of the game, throws the whole momentum of the game off for the New Orleans Saints. So hopefully we won't see that type of play in this game. If our defense, those young guys are going to be game enough to be able to play aggressive against Cooper as well as Crabtree, I think, and if our defensive line, as you guys alluded to earlier, are able to put the pressure, let's see if they can be able to create some turnovers. That's what I want to see from our team. So I think let's just go around. What's your prediction, guys? And we're just going to hit it up, starting off with you, Brendan. What's going to be the outcome of this game? Who wins and how?
I'm going to say the Saints come out on top. I'm going to be optimistic going into week 1. I think the final score is going to be, let's do 28-24 in favor of the Saints. And I think the Saints get it done by exactly what I just talked about. Being able to run the ball a little more effectively than they did in the preseason. I know this sounds crazy, especially under Sean Payton, but a balanced offensive attack. And the defense comes up with one big turnover late in the game.
Okay. Rim.
I think the Saints will actually win this week. But it will be a close one. I'm expecting it to be maybe like a 3 to 4 point victory. I don't know the score. I can't give you a score, but I'm expecting a 3 to 4 point win, a very hard fought win.
Okay, good. Deuce.
I'm actually going to rock the boat. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I mean, they're a young and up-and-coming team who's favored to win their division, and the Saints are a huge unknown who, and just to put it bluntly, have shown us nothing during the preseason and training camp to lead us to believe that they can be consistent enough to win, drive after drive after drive. So I'm going to say 24-20 Raiders.
Okay. And Professor?
Wow. I can tell you this. I can see why me and Brandon are connected, but Deuce just threw a monkey wrench because I have mixed feelings. But I'm going to go with what the Lord placed in my spirit at first. So I said the same thing as what came out of Brendan's mouth. That's why I know he and I are very connected. I had the same score being 27-28 to 24. That's what first popped in my head for the Saints. But this game, what scares me with the Saints is what Deuce stated. The New Orleans Saints are not like a lot of teams. What they show you in preseason and the problems with penalties, turnovers that we saw, unfortunately, that spirit usually rolls over into their season. And I'm hoping and praying this year that doesn't happen. I hope they just blow my mind and that I'm totally wrong with the things I saw in preseason. Because what we saw in preseason is very alarming.
Good Good point. Good point. Okay, and I will say I believe it's going to be a close game. Okay.
That's it, huh?
You know what? No, sir. We only allowed Remy to get away with his statement. No, you give us a score, Kyle Trevor Mosley, brother.
Okay, all right. This is what I believe. If the Saints lose the turnover battle, they're going to lose 32-14. If they win the turnover battle,
goodness.
yeah, I think that could happen. Really do. If the Saints win the turnover battle, I see them winning 27-17. So that's how I would say there. If they lose the turnover battle, we're done for. That's it. Okay, guys. Well, I really, 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 really appreciate you guys being on with our kickoff special for the 2016 season. Brendan, thank you so much for taking out some time from your college studies, being with us, man. Remy, appreciate you being with us as well. Professor, as usual, as well as you, Deuce. Deuce, you guys, I'm going to talk a little bit later with you, but it looks like on Tuesday nights, Deuce is going to revive the Who Dat Confessional, right?
That's right.
All right. He's going to be on our station, and every Tuesday night, are you guys starting at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.?
The plan to start at 7.
Okay, 7 p.m. for Deuce and possibly Brian Bienemy or Barry Hurstus. Okay, and Brendan, how can the people follow you?
The easiest way for people to follow me is on Twitter at BTBoylan. That's at BTBoylan. Also, go ahead and if you're not already reading, I'm writing articles now for Big Easy Believer, BigEasyBeliever.com, and that's through fansided.com. So either or, follow, like, drop a comment, reply, anything. I'll get back to you guys, follow back, all that fun stuff. Okay. And Deuce, how can the people follow you?
Real simple. Just at Rev Deuce Wyndham on Twitter. That's RevDeucewindham. I try to get with everybody I can as quickly as possible on there, but yeah, just follow me on Twitter.
Okay. Rem, how can the people follow you?
I'm not followable.
Okay. Okay, and Professor, how can the people follow you, man?
Quick shout out. And don't forget Friday night, Professor Speaks. We'll do a 30-minute show, me and Brendan, just in preparation for the season opener. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at DNice1911 on Twitter, and you can find me under Derek Stevens on Facebook.
Okay, and as well as you can follow anything with All Saints News on Twitter at Saints News, as well as on Facebook at Saints News, and you can also follow us on Pinterest and Instagram at Saints News. If you want to download us, you can go to Spreaker.com to download all of our podcasts, or you can also go to iTunes to download us, or if you prefer to tune in to us on TuneIn or Stitcher, you can be able to follow us there as well. This is Kyle T. Mosley with the Saints News Radio crew. Coach Rick, we see you. Diva, thank you for being on. We're going to have a great season together. Let's have a great season as Saints fans. And who that's? Keep it positive. The Saints can win. All right. Love you. Take care. Let's have a good season, guys.
Who that?
Who that?